Mr. Hasson and his wife here with us, for Mr. Hasson to share some of his life experiences. As we've talked about, Mr. Hasson was born in the Island of Rhodes and obviously has a very interesting, very important life story for us to get a chance to listen to. So please give him your full respect.
Okay, shalom. So I was born in the Island of Rhodes, Rhodes they used to call it, you know, and many, many years ago, almost 88 years ago. So Rhodes used to have a Jewish synagogue over there, and I used to study over there in Rhodes, and I finished the Jewish school in the morning, when I was young. From over there I had to go to an Italian school because there wasn't any higher education for the Jewish children, but we had 5 elementary schools and 3 technical schools. So I had to go to the Italian school to get more education.
And Mr. Hasson, sorry to interrupt. A technical school was the word?
Yeah.
Is that like a high school?
Yeah,
Is that,
like a high school, yeah. So, I am, as you know, the grandfather of Ilana, see, Ilana Hasson. So, in Rhodes, I used to be very happy over there because I have one family over there, and I used to go to school over there. But when I got about 15 years old, I used to be in sports, and I used to play soccer very good, and I became a professional soccer player in Rhodes. And there used to be a tournament over there. It was a Jewish team, a Turkish team, a Greek team, an Italian team, a school team, a military school team, and the Jewish team was the number 1, was the best one.
Wow.
So that's what I was in Rhodes. So that's why I was happy about being in Rhodes, you know, because I was in all the sports, you know, and I used to be pretty good in the soccer. So after that, what happened in Rhodes, you know, was a terrible thing, you know, just after the Germans came over there. Rhodes, you know, was before 1912 belonged to the Turkey. Then after 1912, the Italians took it from the Turkish, and then from 1912 to 1945, the islands of the Canadian were Italians. That's where I was born, you know, and I had an Italian citizenship. So after that, the Italians lost the war, you know, and became, you know, Greek. Now the island belongs to Greeks, to Greece. After 1943, 44, you know, the Germans came to Rhodes. And there was a disappointed thing, you know, for us, you know, to see those Germans over there. And we don't know much about them, you know, just after a year, 6 months they were over there, they got all the Jewish people from Rhodes, and they took us, you know, in a big building. First of all, you know, they say, you know, the guys, they were young, you know, they had to come and work for the Germans. So we went over there in a big building, and after we went over there, they said to the mothers and fathers, you know, the family to come. If they don't come, we're going to kill, you know, your sons over there. So they came, you know, and they said, you know, to bring all the gold and money and everything else over there. So they did, and we were close in the building over there. they came time, that they transport us, from Rhodes, to the concentration camp, from over there, from Rhodes. They took it in a boat, there were about 13 to 1,500 people left over there. So we went to the boat, and they took us to Greece. To Greece, we stayed down over there, and they took buses, and they took us all the way to Auschwitz in Poland. Over there, was a camp, that they killed all the Jewish, and the young ones, they put them over there to work very hard. So I didn't know anything about, what was going to happen to father and mother. When we got to Auschwitz, it was the soldiers over there, the Germans, they used to split the young and the old ones. So when my father and mother was put in one other side, and me and my brother put the other side, so I was happy, that my father and mother, won't have to work. But I heard that, and after a few days I was over there, I found out, that they got killed right away, when the old people, were separated from the young. So we went to work, in a big camp over there, and I worked in a coal mine. For about 8 months. And it was a terrible time over there, we didn't have anything to eat, just a small soup, which was potatoes with a skin, rotten potatoes or anything like that, And they used to give us a piece of bread, for the whole day, was all wet bread, and we couldn't stand it, and we used to lose weight, from 160 pounds, I went, when I was liberated, to about 90 pounds. I couldn't even walk anymore. Just, thanks God, just things got better after that, just when the Americans came, and liberated us. So we were in the camp for about 10 months. One day, was enough, but 10 months was terrible. And we had to get up in the morning, early in the morning, and it was cold, snow, and we couldn't resist, I had to be in line over there for a few minutes, before, they took us to work, and I don't know what to say anymore, then the time was terrible, and people, they killed themselves, they couldn't resist anymore to the work and the cold and everything else. What the Holocaust did to me, just I never thought, that I was going to be alive, and God, gave me the strength, to be, and from 1,200 to 1,300 people we came from Rhodes to the camp of concentration. Only 100 came back, so most of them died over there. As I say, we were about 10 months in the concentration camp. Then after the concentration camp, I was back to Italy, waiting to come to the United States, and that was about, I waited about 4 years in Italy, and I came to the United States, and I went to Los Angeles where my cousins and uncles were. I worked over there for a year and a half or so. I came to Seattle because a friend of mine from Rhodes was over here by the name of Hasson, and he used to be my one good friend. So I came to visit him, and I met my wife. I met her, you know, and so we got married, and we had 4 children, and the 4 children, they gave us about 14 grandchildren, and the grandchildren, they gave us 7 great-grandchildren. So here I am. Anybody wants to ask any question?
Mr. Hasson, I think one of the things that we were interested in hearing about was if you had one specific memory that was your happiest memory from the island of Rhodes. So you described playing soccer.
That was the happiest thing in my life.
That whole time period.
Yeah.
Is there a specific day or event that you remember?
That's the best thing, of my life was sports, and I used to work over there, and I used to have a family over there, and I used to live, next to the synagogue, we used to go every Saturday to the synagogue, and everything, we had in Rhodes was nice to think about. And we had a nice family, nice work, nice jobs, and friends, and schooling pretty good. Everything was nice. That we didn't even need any other place to go, than to be over there. Because we had my father had a small shop. We had our own home, and everything was alright. So, any questions?
When you came back to the U.S., how did you wouldn't you have no money?
No, I couldn't understand what he said.
When you came back to the United States, or after the war, how did you start up again? Any question?
When I came back, I came to the United States, and it was my cousin and uncle, they brought me over here in Los Angeles. They had a grocery store, and they had a home. I stayed with them, for a few months, and I worked over there in the grocery store. And I learned, something about the grocery. So when I came over here, I used to have a grocery store myself.
How did you come to the United States?
How did I? Well, that's a good question. My uncle, made papers, for me to come over here, and I had to wait so long. But the Italians, only they have so many people that can come to the United States every year, not anymore, and there were so many. But because I came from concentration camp, I came with the displaced persons. That was, if you were a displaced person, you didn't have any place to go, so you applied for that, and I came with it. Yes?
Well, I'm not sure if this is true, but somebody told me this, that some people, they get shipped from, Auschwitz to, another concentration camp.
Yeah.
Did that happen to you?
Yes. From Auschwitz, I've been over there for about a month and a half. They took me to another place, in Poland, and I worked in a coal mine over there. From the coal mine over there, and the Americans, the Russians, they were advancing from 2 parts, and they took us from over there. From Poland, they took us to Austria. From Austria was the last place, I was, because the Americans came to concentration camp where I was, and they saved me. But I was transferred from Poland to Austria.
What was the names of those camps?
The one in Austria was 1,000. Mauthausen. The other is Big Birkenwald, you know. Anything else?
What was your first reaction when you found out that you were going to go to a concentration camp?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, you know, I was young, you know, 23 years old, like that, you know, I didn't think much about, you know, I thought, you know, that they're going to put us to work. And I didn't know how bad, you know, the Germans were, you know, to kill people like that, you know, and everything else, you know, 'cause I didn't think about so much, you know, when I was young, you know, but I found out how bad they were, the Germans. Yeah.
Okay, so at first, I didn't know that anybody, because I didn't think that many people knew about Buchenwald, and my great uncle, he was in the Holocaust,
Yeah.
and he was in Buchenwald. I'm like, Uncle Mordecai, did you ever see anybody that was in Buchenwald that was alive? He was like, yeah, but not many people. It was so scary. I'm like, and you're like the only person besides him I know that ever lived from Buchenwald. It's kind of scary.
You were in Mauthausen or you were in Buchenwald, or both?
He was in both.
No, I was Auschwitz, then Mauthausen,
In Mauthausen.
no, and another camp I was, you know, just, I forgot about this.
In Buchenwald.
No,
It's
this,
in Auschwitz.
Elbensee,
Elbensee.
Evansy.
in Austria. They had over there, you know, the chambers of gas, you know, and the furnace to burn the bodies and everything else over there. And when I was over there, you know, I saw trucks, you know, full of bodies, one on top of the other one, you know, dead, you know, going to get burned over there. Yeah.
Josh.
Was there any differences between the two camps?
What you say?
What were the differences between the camps that you were in?
Differences? There's no difference in every day. The ones, you know, that I started first, you know, they took me to work in outside, you know. The other camps, you know, when I went, you know, they had a coal mine, so I went to the coal mine. From the coal mine, you know, just I went to Mauthausen, and that was the last camp I was, you know, and I was liberated there. I didn't stay too long over there. Thanks God for that.
How much time were you in the Holocaust?
I was there 10 months.
And you said towards the end that you were very sick.
Oh yeah. I was about 90 pounds when I was liberated. I lost so much, you know, that when I was liberated, I tried to go on top of the truck, you know, they were taking us to home, you know, to Italy. I couldn't even go on top of they had to cut me to put me up, you know, the track. Yeah.
And at that point, were you in the hospital area, or
Well, I was in the hospital, yeah, but the hospital I was there, you know, the Germans, you know, they tried to kill everybody over there instead to cure them. Thanks God, when I was in the hospital and the Americans came, I was almost dying, completely dying. You know, they say when you dream, you know, that you breathing through a pipe to something like that, and that breaks, you know, you're gone. You know, I was at that point, you know. And the Americans came, you know, they gave me medicine and cure and everything else, you know.
A miracle.
Yeah.
wow. And how long was your recovery from?
Oh,
And so
when I
you
was
felt
in
that you were
Italy, I was
strong.
about 8 months, 10 months to a year. And when I got back to my weight, you know, I played soccer in Italy. Yeah, I played soccer in Italy with the Italian team. And there was another Jewish guy, not from Costa from Italy, you know, that was in the same team. Yeah. Anything else? I guess you
I have enough questions to keep you busy for a while, but if you guys have other questions,
Okay.
please ask. I guess if you could talk a little bit more about life in the Island of Rhodes. And I'm asking that because I think for our kids here, you know, we have our own patterns of how we get food, how we get to our kihila. What were the stores like? What were the where did you buy bread at one area? Was there a market at another place? How many kihilot were there? So,
Well, my family was the brother and sister and the father and mother. And
what profession were you in? What was your
I
family?
I worked in a bank first.
You worked in the bank first.
Then I worked in an Italian maker of soap and oil. And that was my last job, you know, after I finished school. And the life was nice, you know, we had friends all the time, you know, we used to get together after work and we used to go have a little glass of wine, you know, with the misses, you know, to some restaurant, cost me money, water. And life was beautiful over there. The island is fantastic, beautiful, and nobody had any ideas. Well, there was a lot of people from Rhodes, which was 5,000 people, Jewish, that emigrated, you know, to Africa and to the United States. And so at the end, you know, we were only 1,500 left over there. So the guys who emigrated to Africa, they did pretty good. They got rich, some ones, you know, and someone that came with me to the United States.
And why did your family stay in Rhodes? Why didn't your family decide to move in?
Well, everything was all right, you know, just my father had the store, I was working, my sister was working, my brother was working, everybody was in a good shape over there, you know, just didn't need anything else.
And so the other families who left earlier, why did they leave? Do you know?
Oh, well, they didn't leave the family, they left the sons or the daughter, you know, something like that, mostly sons. The young fellows, you know, to go to make a fortune. And a lot of the people made a fortune. Nowadays, I still have some people over there in Africa which correspond with me, you know, I talk to them on the telephone. They came from concentration camp too. Some they died, some they are still there. But not very many. But a lot of girls, they came back from concentration camp, they went back to Africa and they got married over there because people, the Jewish people from Rhodes, they went over there, they made it easy for the girls to go over there and get married. So, anything else?
What was the food like in the concentration camp?
Terrible, yes, terrible.
Yeah, like what kind? What kind?
In the morning they used to give us soup, you know. It was rotten potatoes and
With skins.
that's it, and potatoes and water. That's what it was. And they gave a slice of bread, all white bread, you know, that don't have anything else for the whole day. Yeah.
While in the concentration camp, did everybody always keep all of their bread? Did people trade? Did people...
The bread?
Yeah, did they trade their food for things?
Well, there was not enough, you know, to trade, you know, but some people, you know, they did that, you know, just to have a cigarette, for example, you know, just to change the bread, you know, for a cigarette, you know, the people that they used to smoke, you know. And I don't know, that bread, was so bad, that,
Didn't you used to dig for potatoes outside? Didn't you say that you used to
yeah.
raw potatoes?
I used to go and steal some potatoes from the Germans, the Germans, they used to have a building, and under the building, was this underground. I used to go to the window, and just to get a few potatoes. Yeah, yes.
What would they have done to you if they found out that you were taking potatoes?
What is that?
What would the Germans have done if they caught you while you were
Oh,
there taking the potatoes?
If they caught me, I would be dead. And I didn't know, I was stupid, just to do that, just, I find out, some they got caught, and they left it over there, just outside for 2 days, with the snow and everything else, and it was a bad punishment, when they caught somebody doing something. And they didn't have any, okay, we got to.
Yeah. And that's it.
Would the Germans ever spare your life?
Pardon?
Would they ever spare your life?
Spare my life? Yeah.
No, I mean like,
Was there ever a time when maybe you were about to be killed,
Yeah,
or somebody
yeah.
was about to be killed,
There
and
was,
sentenced?
there was time, that I didn't have any chance, just, I couldn't have anything to eat, sometimes I used to go and find some bones in the ground, bones, and I had to put it in my mouth, for a whole day, bone, chewing the bone. Can you imagine that?
Mhm.
Just like a dog,
It's human bones?
anything to survive,
yeah.
Right.
anything.
And yes,
When you would get sick there, would they give you a break from work or did they just,
If I was sick,
yeah?
well, they had a hospital like, but
doesn't matter.
they didn't cure you. Just they put it over there, if you're still alive, you're alive. If you die, mostly, they die one after the other. But they won't cure you, they won't have a doctor or anything like that. That's it, they put you over there to die. That's what was the... Yeah.
and yeah.
Out of everyone that came with you from Rhodes to the concentration camps, were you able to maintain any friendships inside the camps with anyone you knew from Rhodes?
Inside the camp, I was split completely, just I had only one guy, only one guy by the name of Philosophe, one night, just we slept together in the floor, and the morning came, he was dead. Or something like that.
Did you ever watch, were you ever seeing people getting shot or?
Go ahead.
Was there ever a time when you actually saw somebody being killed instead of just hearing about it?
Well, no, I saw them kill, yes. I saw them kill, I saw them die, just so. And I saw some people, kill themselves, just throwing themselves from the elevator that used to go to the coal mine. They jump down, and kill themselves. Someone hanging in a tree because they couldn't stand anymore. It's not fun,
Yeah, thanks.
Was there ever a time where the Jews, you remember, trying to fight back during...
In concentration camp?
Yeah.
No, just I couldn't do that. They had revolvers over there, army, if you hold it, it happens, it happens when the first time, that they took us with a boat to Greece, they put us in the ground, waiting for trucks to take us to Auschwitz. My mother, got up because we were all sitting down. That's what they said, to stay down. she got up, to get some water, and the German came, he gave one like that in her mouth and put it down. I got up, to go and kill that son of a gun, but somebody, pulled me down, just, you better than over there, they're gonna kill you. So that's what happened, just couldn't do anything with the Germans.
When you first went to the camps, you only spoke Ladino and Italian, and so
Latino, Italian, French,
did you speak
Greek,
German? In Greek, did you speak German?
German, no,
No.
I didn't.
So when you first got to the camps,
The only thing is to remember, my number. The number, the prisoner was over here. See. That was taken over there, that all the prisoners were numbers in Auschwitz.
How old were you when you had the number?
But I said,
how old were you when you
I
entered
was
the camps?
24.
24.
My brother was 22.
And of your family, how many people survived the camps?
Yeah, my sister and I.
Yeah, Ezra.
How did they get the number on your arm? What did they do to put it on your arm?
They have a pen like, and they did it like that, like that.
A stamp, like a stamp machine.
Yeah?
A stamp machine.
No, it's a needle, they go like that. They made a 7 and 3, 4, like that,
That would hurt.
It hurts, yeah.
But the first day there, when they called your number, and did they, I guess I'm wondering, did they tell you what your number was in German, so you
Yeah.
knew when they called you?
Yeah, well, yeah, but there were some other people over there, that they know German, home with me. And 73, 42, I had to remember that number in German.
And that was for the roll call.
A roll call, every morning had a roll call, every morning. If somebody was missing, we stay over there, until they found the guy.
Yeah, Mira.
Did some people, after they got the tattoo, were they so scared that they killed themselves? Like after they got the tattoo?
I can get it, when the kids talk like that.
What were people's reactions when they first got the tattoo? Did they then know how bad the situation in the camp was going
No,
to
nothing,
be?
no situation, nothing. Just the idea is, just to call, they won't call by names, they call by numbers over there every time.
Were there any ever fights over food because somebody thought another person stole it from them?
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on, and they got punishment very bad. Yeah.
And I guess is there anybody else has like a final question? Yeah, okay.
What exactly did they do to you guys in your camps?
What did I do?
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't?
Like, he said the coal mine, what do you do there?
A coal mine, I was in the coal mine, and they were in the coal mine, they were people that used to work for living, Polish people. So I had to go and help them. They used to get a pole for the mine, and I had to shovel, and put in an electric belt, that they go, the mine, the coal is to go all the way to the center, from over there. It used to go out. So I used to shovel, the coal, to the electric thing going all the time, all over.
Mr. Hanson, just for a last question, do you have any, like a lesson, a message, something that you want our class to remember?
Yeah, what I said to you, just to keep, always studying and get to know things going in the world, and don't be afraid, to stand up, for your rights. Okay?
Thank you very much for coming. Mr.
Okay, so everyone just be themselves.
In front of the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.